Good afternoon, 6th grade. It is Thursday, April 23rd, and today is going to be a little bit different in that it's not a new concept. This is going to be temperature review. So it's stuff we've been learning about these last couple of days, so let's look at the stuff you've got. So for your assignment today, you've got 1 through 4 all, and then on number 7, A through D. And I'll just kind of, briefly touch up on some of these things along with you before you start. Of course, if you want to start before you listen to me, that's fine. If you're like, oh, we know how to do all this review, you don't have to follow along with this video if you don't want to. But for those of you who may be like, need a little bit more of a touch up on some of these things, and of course, you're welcome to follow along with me. So let's look at these problems on number 1. Round these temperature readings to the nearest whole degree. Remember, rounding rule, whole numbers. Whole numbers do not have decimals. In other words, you're rounding the decimal up, or the fraction up. So 63.5 degrees, remember the rounding rule. If it's 5 or more, you round up. If it's less than 5, you round back down. Same for fractions. Remember, if it's over half of the fraction, so for instance, if it was out of 8ths, what's half of the 8ths? 4. So if it was like something like 4/8, you would know that you would round up. So just remember, your decimal equivalents, and you'll have those just fine. Okay, number 2, convert these temperatures. If necessary, round to the nearest whole degree if you have to. Most of these should be fairly straightforward. In fact, I don't think there's any of them that you actually have to round on. They're all pretty much straightforward. Remember the formulas. If you don't remember your formulas to convert, they're always on the other page. You've got these though. In fact, some of these you don't even have to do the formula because they're on that chart. They're Fahrenheit Celsius equivalents. You got that. Solving for x. I would like to do 3a with you because that one, when I looked at it, I was like, And I had to do some math in my mind. So let's work that one together. So 7 ninths equals x over 14. So this is the same thing as saying 1x divided by 14. So let's see if we can figure this one out together. So, class, what do you think we should do first? And remember, we always want to get our variable by itself. And it doesn't matter if it's on the left or right side of the equal sign. That doesn't really matter. So, let's get x by its lonesome. What can we do though? What's the opposite of divide 14? That's right, we multiply 14. So this is 7 ninths times 14 over 1. So this becomes, good question. 7 times 14, let's do it over here. 7 times 4 is 8, or 28, carry over 2. So we got 98. So we've got 98 over 9 equals x. Problem, what's the problem with leaving it like that? Technically you're not wrong, but that's right, it's an improper fraction. Let's do our best to turn it into a mixed number. So how many times can 9 go into 98? It can almost go in 11 times, but not quite. So it can go in how many times? Yeah, 10 times. So x equals 10 and 8 ninths. That's really the only one that should give you trouble. But yeah, that's the answer to A. We'll make sure there's no other tricky ones on there. Okay, remember, anytime you see a little number next to that 2 with that 3 up top, that's the same thing on B. 2 to the third, that's the same thing as saying 2 times 2 times 2. Remember that little dot on C represents multiplication. Remember the 2-step problem solving process. Okay, on 4, A, B, and C, you've got you've got 1 where you're subtracting from compound numbers. Remember, there are 1,000, hold on. There is, that's right. It is 5,280 divided by 3. Hold on, sorry guys. I want to make sure I give you this correct number. 1,280 Yeah, so there's 1,760 yards per mile. But you gotta add the 15 yards to it. So when you borrow from the 2 miles, you end up with 1 mile, 1,775 yards, minus 50 yards. And that one's pretty straightforward on 4A. Make sure you borrow, it's 1 mile equals 1,760 yards, and then you add that 15 to it. Just wanted to make sure that the book was telling you correctly. It's not very often we have to convert miles to yards. And that's pretty much the first 4. And then on 7, the ones I'm having you do A through D, multiplying fractions, you've got that. 24 is what percent of 480? 7B, remember, you would go 24 over 480, and you convert this into a percentage. But of course you want to, reduce it first. So you end up with 12 over 240, 12, so it becomes 6 over 120, which becomes 3 over 60, which becomes 1 over 20. We're trying to get them to a percentage. Is there anything that 20 can multiply by to equal 100? Sure can. Times 5. What you do at the bottom, you have to do the top. So it becomes 5 over 100, which is what percent? 5%. That's right. So 24 is 5% of 480. I know it's been a while since we've done one of those together, so I wanted to do it with you, just to go through it. All right, so C, dividing fractions. Remember, when you divide fractions, the second one, the 3/4, you flip it upside down, it becomes 4/3, and then you multiply like normal. D is pretty straightforward. Make sure you subtract correctly, borrow when necessary. Remember that there's technically a 0 there above the 3. But when you get all that done, you'll be done for today. Once again, if you have any problems with any of these math problems, please get up with me. I want to help if I can. If you need help, I'm more than welcome to help you out. Hope you guys have an excellent Thursday. I'll see you tomorrow.